In every esport, there's always people that nobody likes. Other games have plenty of people who either got banned, talked too much talk, and so forth, therefore creating a lot of haters. Rainbow Six Siege is no exception, and today we're going to go over the top 10 most hated pros in Rainbow Six Siege. In the 10th spot, we have Supr. Now, Supr is pretty mild compared to some of the people further up in the list. The thing with Supr, the whole controversy, is that he plays a character similar to Fabian, but a little more ballsy, you could say. A little more disrespectful.
This is how I know Pengu is like a dated, by the way. Secret bans Kate Thatcher and then refuses to play Callie. If I see anybody playing Callie in NA, you're getting fucking roasted. Fucking nade under. Every single wall you can literally nade from outside, basically. Why the fuck would you need to play Callie? This is the most EU tweet I've ever seen. They banned Caden Thatcher and they're not playing Callie. What are lads doing? Aren't they playing Callie? How you gonna get the wall? You can't go under a nade. That requires taking map control. Oh. You need to take map control so you can have vertical pressure and nade the fucking wall? Who would have thought? No, just run Callie. We'll just run in the site. Fucking what?
So, already, Supr is pretty much on the same level as Fabian. But why wouldn't I put Fabian on the list? But I did put Supr. Well, in 2021 or 2022, I would have to check, Supr dropped his entire team, except for himself, made fun of them on Twitter for becoming jobless, and acted so immaturely that everybody just started hating him. Like, I can't make that up. Like, a grown ass dude, he's 35 now. Back then he would have been about 30, over 30 years old. Dropped his entire team and then made fun of them on Twitter. That's pretty unprofessional, to say the least. And therefore, a lot of people stop liking Supr. Now, personally, I find Supr very entertaining. He grew a lot from this incident. So, in my opinion, he's not that bad. But due to his past and his controversial image, he takes the 10th place spot. In 9th place, we have Nuers. Nuers is an entry for Oxygen Esports. Now, the controversy with Nuers is similar to Supr, where it happened a bit ago, but it still kind of left an unpleasant feeling with this player. And I personally have had a poor experience with this player due to his actions to somebody I knew at the time. Now, the thing with Nuers is, back when he first got into Pro League, his ego was sky high. He was very good mechanically. He still is pretty good mechanically, although some would argue he was a 1.5 site crutch. Personally, I disagree. I think he's still a good player. I just think he plays more disciplined now, as he got older. Regardless, when Nuers got into Pro League, his ego was massive, and he would just talk crap to everyone. He would DM literally every e-girl. This was an actual issue. Like, every 2 days, there would be another e-girl who's like, dude, why is this guy like harassing me? Like, it was so bad. He just was weird and egotistical and expected people to treat him like he was better than everybody else. And it got to a point where people actually did. I forgot what event it was, but there was a S tier event where he literally got gifted a gold chain worth $10,000, and I think it was by a simulated or some like tier 3, tier 4 player. And it was ridiculous. Like, and I had an experience where I was just like friends with more people back then because I was more social. I kind of cared more about networking. And I was friends with this woman who fucking had Nuers slide into her DMs, be like, hey, and then she was like busy at work or whatever. And after not responding for 15 minutes, he just said, whatever, fuck you, and blocked her. Like, this guy, he's not doing anything too bad, so he's getting the ninth place spot because he's not really that hated. He is one of the better players in NA, and he mellowed down recently. But, oh my goodness, back then, people were not a big fan of him, and I think that just permanently ruined his reputation, to be honest with you. I could never see myself, like, playing with that dude even in ranked after that. I just can't look at him the same way. In the 8th place spot, we have Citizen, who recently joined ITB. Now, Citizen is an interesting case because he is the first person on our list who people hate simply because of how he plays. Like, Supr, yeah, he used to be a dickhead. Nuers used to be a gooner, or I don't even know what he used to be. He just used to be odd, very weird. But Citizen never had anything too controversial. I mean, in 2019, he did make a transphobic comment once, but this was 2019, and I once again would not hold that against somebody in a modern day because, realistically speaking, back then that was a very common thing, especially in the UK. Despite some of the more controversial things very far in the past, Citizen, aside from that, had a quite outstanding record. I mean, he won the Tokonami finals in Japan, right? The Pro League Season 10 finals. He did fairly okay at the 2020 Invitational, joined G2, got second place in the August Major, won the EUL finals, then Pengu left, and then he fell off. Then he joined Sonics, did pretty good, got top 6 at SI in 2024, joined M80 to get that bag, fell off the face of the earth. M80 wasn't happy because they paid that much money for him, and now he joined ITB again. But what about his playstyle do people not like? Well, unfortunately, there are a lot of uninformed people who watch Pro League, and a lot of people consider Citizen to be a baiter. So, people just hate him because he quote unquote baits. He does not bait, he does help his team a lot, but people call him a baiter. Another thing is, his personality was rumored to have become toxic on G2 because of the long period of time he was on that team without any results. He was on that team for about 3 years. They didn't win anything, and then as soon as he gets benched and they bring in a new player, they win 6 invitational. I don't know. That sucks, honestly. Like I feel for bro, but regardless, my point is that he's hated because of a multitude of reasons. Mostly a mixture of his playstyle and people not understanding that he's not a troll, and a mixture of his rumored personality issues back when he was on G2 in 2022, 2023. In 7th place, we have Twix, who is a Saudi Arabian player, so you know this is going to be some controversial little secret tea you guys got. Nobody really knows who this guy is, but except European Tier 2, Tier 3. Now, for context, Twix was on Twisted Minds, which was a Pro League team in the Middle East, and he's been on there for a good amount of time until Twisted Minds pulled out of Siege completely. Now, the issue with Twix is he's not really a person who people hate because of their playstyle or whatever, but apparently, as a teammate, he is one of the worst people actually possible. And it's so bad that recently on a stream that like on the Leon Gids broadcast covering like some of the SI quals, he literally threw the entire game because he wanted to hide and type GG early instead of just focus on winning the game. And then they end up losing that round, even though he solely could have just won the round by holding the diffuser further. So, I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like, he just is not a good teammate. His personality and ego was apparently absolutely horrible. in the Middle Eastern League, which is a partial reason due to, as to their very poor performance in the stage 2 of the MENA League, because a bunch of European talent came into the team. They did not expect that, and they just kind of gave up. Same with the coach. The coach just could not deal with that, and the team kind of fell off the face of the earth. So, in that regard, Twix honestly deserves a 7th place spot because he's the first person on the list to just be an asshole. In 6th place, we have an even more controversial figure in the form of AceeZ. AceeZ is a German player who was known to be pretty good. Pretty damn good. But he was toxic. He had been banned a few times before. He had issues with motivation, according to other teammates. And he was just always kind of slightly disliked. He was on a bunch of teams in the past. He was playing in Pro League since about 2017. Did pretty good. Always was known for being a consistent performer, whether it was online or on LAN. And eventually, he got to Rogue in 2020. And then in 2020, he got banned for allegedly match fixing for about a week. Came back to Rogue, kept playing, got dropped from Rogue for being lazy, in quotation marks. I obviously don't know if this is true because I just wasn't there. I cannot tell you whether or not that was true. But he got dropped for having a bad personality / being lazy and not really caring, as well as being slightly toxic. And then he joins Wild, plays on Wild for a decent amount of time, over a year, like a year and a half. Got top 4 Gamers 8 in 2022, made 155k. I mean, that's a nice price, plus split 6-7 ways. And then he ended up getting dropped by Wild when Wild was rebuilding the roster towards the end of 2023. And he gets banned specifically for impeding an investigation of alleged cheating, which caused a lot of people to start hating him. Personally, I think the situation was blown out of proportion, but I am not rating this list too much based on my own personal thoughts and experience. The fact of the matter is, if you ask somebody if they like AceeZ, they're gonna tell you hell no. And therefore, AceeZ does end up at the 6th place spot. However, I would take it with a grain of salt because impeding an investigation of alleged cheating can mean a lot of things, and a lot of those possible outcomes, including the rumors that have been very much circulated in the German community, does not sound like it is fair to blame him on. For example, updating Windows 11 while admins think you're cheating, like updating from Windows 10 to Windows 11, during the time where Windows 10 had frame stutters and Windows 11 had a smooth performance, trying to actually get more FPS and a smoother game while being investigated. That's not specifically known to be an issue, but the admins kind of never, it's not written in the rulebook, you can't update your PC, but apparently AceeZ got banned for that anyway. So, is what it is. I personally think that this situation was blown out of proportion, and while he is probably about the 6th most hated pro, not really a big enough deal to where I'm gonna say anything about whether or not it's deserved. In 5th place, we have Ashn. So, this is where it gets really controversial, because Ashn, similarly to Supr, is you either love him or you either really, really hate him type of player. Now, Ashn is hated because of his loud mouth. He cannot shut up. That's all it is. He just constantly talks shit. He is the biggest shit talker in the game right now. Like, he's just annoying. He sounds like a soy jack. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's ripped, he's shredded. I would not talk shit to his face. He would knock me out in one punch. Like, dude, I would not want to meet this dude in prison. Like, that, I'm just saying. Like, this guy, bro. he's jacked, okay? Like, I can't, I can't hate that much. But, my god, he's the most annoying player ever. Every time an SSG game gets on, I just have to, like, mute the stream because I cannot handle that shit talk because it is not only disrespectful, it's just so ridiculous and annoying, dude. It gets, like, that's my personal thoughts. So I am slightly biased, which is why I would put Ashn over AceeZ. However, most people would say that Ashn is just ridiculously annoying and that it really isn't enjoyable to listen to that all the time. Especially European, Brazilian, and APAC fans would agree. American fans, well, I mean, there's only so much you can do, and some people miss a few brain cells. I'm joking. I'm just kidding, chat. Anywho, due to Ashen's very, very hit or miss personality and the amount of hate he does get from the haters he has, I would put him at 5th place simply because it's a lot more hate than AceeZ got. AceeZ was kind of a situation like, oh yeah, that guy's a cheater. Wow, fuck that guy. Ashn is kind of more of a situation where it's like, oh my god, I want him to like get knocked out at an event. Like that's what a lot of people say on Reddit. So I'd probably put him at 5 because of that. In 4th place, we have Tristan. So Tristan is a player that mostly NA people, but also a good amount of international players, absolutely just hate. Now, I don't know what the situation is. I'm gonna be honest. What I do know about Tristan is he's a great player, turns down Pro League offers all time, could be in Pro League, literally qualified to a major while in Challenger League, literally just chose not to go, did not get a passport, and screwed his team over, and just generally has been an inconsistent piece of crap that nobody really nobody really knows what to do with because he just never tries to go further in his career despite being good enough. And the amount of times he screwed teams over, like for example, Beast Coast. He was supposed to join Beast Coast in 2024. Last day, said, no, actually, never mind. I won't be joining the team. They had to get Diffuser last second. Now, they won a major, so good for Beast Coast, but screwed over one Pro League team. The year before, did the same thing with Beast Coast when they had a different roster. And then after that, Tristan qualified to the major with CL4L, and then just chose not to go to the major, and screwed his team over again. And after that, there have literally been pro teams who will now consistently refuse to scrim any team with Tristan on the team. Tristan is hated by all of Pro League, most of Challenger League, and I think everybody just assumes he's a cheater or a degenerate or something or the other. Nobody really likes him. So, not a completely horrible person. Like, not like our top 3 list where it's like, okay, these guys are crazy, but probably the most hated person for reasons that are not just straight up vile. The 3rd most hated pro, in my opinion, would be Sarks. So, Sarks is new to Pro League. He's a very new player, which is partially why he's hated more, because he's been controversial shamelessly, even despite making it to Pro League recently. So, to give some context, he was on an Italian team, right? Everybody assumed he used to cheat. Probably he did, realistically speaking. There is a good amount of evidence that he used to have a DMA. He even had a second PC he admitted to having that he quote-unquote stopped using, which, sure, but normal people don't just have 2 PCs laying around. I mean, I guess I have one, but it's empty. It only has an old GPU that I need to sell or something in it, but you get my point. And then he not only, probably cheated himself, his duo cheated, got banned for DMing, And he kept playing with that guy. Said, I don't care if my friends cheat. I'm going to keep playing with them. So, as a pro league player, that's already very unprofessional. And then, after people started confronting him, he literally sent somebody like an image that's a quote-unquote meme of the hard R. This dude sent somebody a slur, hard R, while on Fnatic, a prized organization. Fnatic did nothing about it. He never apologized. He said it's an accident. But that doesn't even cover the fact that why is that on your camera roll? Why is a racist quote-unquote meme, just a racist ass image on your camera roll? You are racist, brother. There is no, like, there's no, what's the joke? Racism? My brother, you are racist. That's all it is. This guy is a racist cheater who made it to Pro League and now performs like dog shit. Half the time he does well, half the time he doesn't. He can only do well against teams and in leagues that don't have face cams on or don't have like very strict monitoring on. Like, it's ridiculous. The fact that Sarks has not been benched or banned yet is a testament to how inconsistent the Rainbow Six Siege esports system is, and it only gets worse with the next person in our list. Speaking of which, the second most hated pro of probably all time, until somebody else comes along inevitably who's going to be even worse, would be Gruby. Gruby's a Rainbow Six Siege player, right? So, Gruby is a Polish player who, when he was underage, literally used what's called aimbot against Pengu.
Zofia, top visa stairs. Holding kitchen door, don't peek.
I'm spotted.
She's
again.
crouch walking down visa stairs. Oh, this guy's cheating. This guy's cheating, 100%.
Cheating? What?
Yeah, he's... Yeah.
Well, Gruby is a known
Wait, I
cheater,
thought
but
He literally flicked towards you in server. Happy.
Oh, nice.
Like from visa.
going backside here, kids.
Visa stairs halfway down. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see how he flicked?
What? What? Wait a sec. This guy's actually cheating.
Yeah,
I just saw your. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
He actually locks onto her through the wall. He's actually cheating.
I told
He's
you.
actually cheating. His tits off.
In a go for. He literally got clipped by Pengu in like 2019 in a go for against Pengu, just wall hacking, like, or aimbotting or whatever, like looking at Pengu through a wall and stuff on a drone and stuff. Never got banned. Well, no, he did get banned actually. He literally got banned like 4 times. Sold a bunch of accounts a bunch of times. Had a massive controversy about being racist and Islamophobic. Like, he would literally just call every time somebody had over 100 ping in his lobby, just a hard R, like, completely shamelessly, even while playing competitive Siege, even while being on Viperio 86, right before he joined Secret, he was still calling people slurs, he was still being racist, he was still being a horrible human being. Personality-wise, I don't know him. I personally never asked about him to my friends who did team with him, because, honestly, it's just, I can't be asked. People are always going to defend their teammates, but if you look historically at what he's done, the amount of times he's cheated and got banned, the amount of slurs he's said, the amount of derogatory racism that he has put out, he's very close to tying with first place, and he's just a horrible, horrible human. Like, dude, you know when a pro player chooses to stream on Kick instead of Twitch, that this dude says some crazy shit. Like, genuinely should have been banned from Pro League so many times already. And it's another example of just an absolutely inconsistent rulebook from Ubisoft. there's no consistency in Ubisoft. They banned Doki in 2019 for something he said when he was 14 once. And then Gruby, who literally, while being in CL, said slurs and a lot of other stuff that I can't even say in this video without probably getting canceled myself, is still playing like nothing ever happened and making majors is absurd to me. And I question the people who choose to team with him, because if you know somebody did all that, I don't know how you can justify to yourself, yeah, dude, I want to team with that guy. And the final player that we have on our list is an NA player, so NA finally wins something. It is Kanine. Kanine is a brain-damaged player. He literally had to get brain surgery done in Turkey, and he didn't have the money to go back and fly back to the US. Like, Kanine is just... He literally acts like he's brain damaged. He is brain damaged. It makes sense. It all checks out. But let me give some context. Kanine was an OG Pro League player. Very classic. A lot of spots are named after him, like on a Chalet and so forth, and he has a huge ego about it. But consistently, time after time, after he retired, he made remarks about race, about gender identity, about sexuality, about, like, he was literally every type of phobic possible. This dude was such a brand risk that literally on his Wikipedia page, it says, since retiring from the competitive scene, he has made many controversial and offensive comments about various people in the Siege community. His comments caused a Ubisoft employee to state that Kanine would have been banned if he weren't already retired. Like, do you understand? Like, nobody in Wikipedia has a page which quite literally says, yeah, this guy is so fucking controversial and such a piece of shit that literally Ubisoft came out and said, yeah, if this guy still played our game, we would have probably already banned him. We definitely would have actually already banned him. But he doesn't even play the game, so it's pointless. So just please try to ignore this shit can. It's insane. This is like... It's like next level stuff. Like, Gruby's pretty bad, but if you're saying stuff that's so bad that Ubisoft literally has to come out and be like, hey, we would ban you if you still played, like, comp. Like, you are insane. You are a lunatic. You needed brain surgery and that did not work. That is ridiculous. Absolutely insane. So, just because of the sheer amount of, like, hate that he gets and puts out, frankly, yeah, he takes first place by far. I mean, what can I say? NA finally won something. Now, if you want to see more videos like this, where I go over the history of the game or specific players and so forth, please do let me know. It would mean a lot if you would subscribe, like, just comment, let me know what you like, whether or not you want to see content like this or not, or if you'd rather just I stick to gameplay. Just give me some, words of advice on what you guys like to watch, and that would help me out a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.